Hello and welcome to Wealth Practices. Today, we'll look at 10 things that impoverished people do that rich people don't. Let's get started. 1. Distracting media. People from different socioeconomic backgrounds spend their free time in quite varied ways. Less wealthy people are more prone to waste time watching TV, playing video games, and scrolling through social media, all of which sap motivation and reduce productivity. Many poor people use their idle time to switch off their brains. However, wealthy people do not value their leisure time in the same manner. Wealthier persons are more likely to engage in mentally restorative activities such as reading and journaling instead of watching TV or playing video games. They do not wish to switch off their brains, but rather to motivate and revitalize them through educational and motivational routines. So, why do rich and poor people spend their spare time in such disparate ways? Lower income people frequently have restricted access to educational and motivational resources. Many people living in poverty, for example, cannot afford higher education, reducing their chances of engaging in intellectual pursuits in their daily life. This is just one of many elements that influence how people of various socioeconomic backgrounds spend their spare time. To put it another way, it's not as simple as poor people are lazy, whereas rich ones aren't. In truth, this is almost never the case. Wealthier persons are more likely to have access to educational and cultural opportunities that contribute to healthier lifestyle choices. Less privileged people, on the other hand, seek activities to occupy their time and divert them from personal difficulties since, in many circumstances, they are never taught otherwise. 2. Financial ease. Financial risk-taking is one of the primary reasons why many poor people remain poor and many rich people become richer. Life is full of possibilities to achieve success, make money, and move up the social ladder, but each one comes with some level of risk. Rich people are more prone to take risks and reap the benefits, whereas impoverished people prefer to stay in their comfort zones. At some level, it comes down to tenacity and self-determination. Rich people are more willing to risk their money and venture into the unknown, but that is only part of the picture. Rich people are more likely to take enormous risks because they have a safety net. When you know that one failure would not ruin your life, it is much easier to take a financial risk. For example, if a wealthy someone loses thousands of dollars on a terrible investment, they may be disappointed, but their lifestyle will not be significantly impacted. If a poor individual takes the same risk, they may be unable to pay their rent or purchase groceries, limiting their ability to meet basic survival needs. 3. Limited knowledge. Rich and impoverished people frequently receive information from various sources. Lower income people mostly use social media and television to learn about the world and comprehend new concepts. Unfortunately, these media outlets provide narrow, frequently biased streams of information that do not provide individuals with a complete picture of what is happening or why. Many poor individuals have underdeveloped or narrow-minded perspectives of current events and popular issues since they get the majority of their information from restricted media. Wealthier people, on the other hand, are more likely to obtain information from sources other than the public media. They may gain access to journals, books, and other longer sources of knowledge, effectively broadening their perspectives and increasing their comprehension of the subject. It takes longer to read a book than it does to scan through a dozen headlines, but doing so offers a more complete comprehension of almost any subject. 4. Wasteful spending. Poor people are less likely to keep track of their money than the wealthiest people. They may have a general sense of what they earn and spend, but they may not actively manage their finances. As a result, many impoverished people waste money on things that harm their health. Rich people, on the other hand, know exactly where their money is going and why. They manage their investments through applications and asset managers. They invest their money in the proper locations and keep track of market developments. They are frequently able to quadruple their funds by meticulously controlling every dime. A common example is bill payment. Wealthy folks always keep track of their expenses and never miss a payment deadline. As a result, they rarely accrue interest or incur debt. People who are less affluent, on the other hand, are more prone to fall behind on their credit card bills or to overspend. It's critical to consider the context of these common financial blunders. Many less fortunate people do not have easy access to financial information at home, work, or school. Wealthier people are taught early on how to manipulate financial institutions, whereas poor people may not have learned how these systems work. To make matters worse, many financial systems are structured to take advantage of those with less expertise. 5. Absence of windows. It's a frequent misperception that poor people live empty lives with too much free time. But it is simply not true. Most impoverished individuals are extremely busy, leaving little time for hobbies, passions, and good habits. Many poor people believe they have little time to work on personal goals or self-improvement because of their hectic schedules. Wealthy people may work the same number of hours as poor people, but they use disciplined routines to locate small pockets of production throughout the day. Even if you only have an hour of free time every day, when used wisely, this vital window can result in genuine, long-term change. However, unless you include structure into your daily routine, you may never realize how much free time you actually have. 6. Hourly price. Rich and impoverished people measure their productivity differently. A poor individual may assess the productivity of their work based on the number of hours invested. Because most low-income employees pay by the hour, many poor individuals use the number of hours worked to evaluate the quality of their workday. Rich people understand that time and production are not inextricably linked. That is why wealthy people, who frequently have salaried employment, measure their productivity in terms of goals or activities completed. Instead of saying, "I worked 8 hours today," they could add, "I completed 2 projects today," or, "I met all of my daily goals." This minor shift in mentality enables wealthy people to keep better track of their development. It not only gives them a clearer picture of what they're doing, but it also assists them in determining what they need to do next. 7. Poor time management. People of lower socioeconomic levels frequently reflect unfavorably on their period. They reflect on their days or weeks and wonder, "Why have I been so ineffective lately?" People of all socioeconomic classes understand the value of their time, but the wealthy are more inclined to use their time wisely. Time management abilities are frequently linked to characteristics such as job security and financial freedom. Many low-income persons struggle with time management since their time is rarely their own. Because of this lack of control, less privileged people waste their personal time and later regret their unproductive choices. Wealthier people, on the other hand, spend less time wallowing in regret and more time planning for the future. They often have greater leeway to experiment with time management tactics and uncover technologies that will boost their productivity in the long run because of their stable lifestyles. 8. Sincere intentions. Many less fortunate people see achievement as the result of 2 factors, willpower and good intentions. You can achieve anything if you have the correct mindset and enough discipline, right? In theory, this is correct, but in practice, willpower is insufficient. Your good intentions aren't either. No one has the energy or motivation to go the additional mile after a difficult and exhausting day at work, for example. As a result, many poor people never improve their circumstances or achieve their ambitions. Richer people do not rely on willpower to achieve success. Their motivation wanes, just like anyone else's, yet they continue to achieve progress by relying on strict habits and routines. They incorporate procedures into their lives that allow them to routinely achieve tiny goals. You may make progress with or without incentive once productivity becomes a daily habit. 9. Income source. People with lower socioeconomic positions are less interested in establishing meaningful, passion-driven work. Instead, the majority of less fortunate people work in any profession that gives a comfortable salary, and that income becomes their primary focus. Passion enters the mix at higher economic levels. Wealthier people pursue what drives and inspire them, and they often have more leeway to do so without facing considerable financial hardship. Rich people are more likely to consider their professions as meaningful careers rather than a source of cash when they discover what they are passionate about. 10. Bad company. Many less fortunate people associate with people who share their habits and views. In general, we befriend people from similar economic backgrounds, and these associations organically change our lifestyles, attitudes, and behaviors. As a wealthy individual, you may share interests with other wealthy individuals, giving you access to knowledge, connections, and opportunities that someone on the lower end of the spectrum would not have. A poor individual, on the other hand, may spend the majority of his or her time with people who are not pursuing achievement. This has an effect, even if it is subconscious, on your attitude toward success and achievement. While high-status connections might lead to unique opportunities, low-status connections can be detrimental. However, cultural barriers exist that make it difficult for low-income people to connect with higher-achieving individuals. No matter how much money you make, it's crucial to be picky about who you maintain a company with. Unfortunately, some people are limited in their alternatives. Thank you for tuning in to Wealth Practices. If you liked this video, please subscribe for more.